Good morning, friends. I'm Diane, and welcome to my farmstead dream. I wanted to do a video today and kind of give you an update on my garden. I do apologize. I was not able to film while I planted the cabbages and the broccolis and the brassicas and all that good stuff. It just was a crazy day. I had the kids, the grandbabies here, and it just was not conducive to filming. I'm watching a little bunny rabbit, a little bitty tiny bunny rabbit in the yard back here in the neighbor's yard actually. But anyways, so I didn't get to film that, but I wanted to do a video today and just kind of give you some updates and show you my progress. So let's get started. Okay, so we'll start with the little tomato greenhouses. They did wonderfully, and I left them outside when the temperatures dropped even below freezing. I didn't mean to, but I did, and they did so well. I mean, you can see they look really, really good. And I just took the lid off the tubs and let them acclimate every day for almost a week. And they did really, really well. So this is actually what I have left over. I've already planted my row of tomatoes, so I'll take you over and show them to you. Okay, so here is the beginnings of my tomato trellis, and I have this trellis here, and there will be one on this side too, and then I will loop them over and kind of have a little cover, a little cover over the walkway. So I'll show you. You can see my little tomato babies, and they're doing really, really well. They're not as big as I wanted them to be, but they were struggling in their little cups. And so the weather, it has been absolutely beautiful, and we're not expecting any more frost, so I just went ahead and put them in the ground. And I'm glad I have the extra ones because, you know, if something were to happen and they don't make it, then I still have more tomato plants to plant. And I've already given quite a few to my daughter too. So I have, let's see, okay, I have 24 tomatoes planted. And I don't know if you can see it, but this right here is a basil. And then I have marigolds planted in a row all the way up beside the tomatoes, just to try to prevent the birds from getting in them. That's a basil. So I've just kind of popped in some basil. There's some sage there. I don't know if you can see it. Right there is some sage. I've got some hyssop, some marjoram, just all kinds of herbs that I've interplanted throughout with the tomatoes and with all the rest of the plants as well, to help with pest pressure, and to bring in the pollinators as well. I try to go organic. I don't like to use any chemicals on my food, and so that is a good way to help with those things without having to use the chemicals. So I'm going to probably go on the other side. Actually, I'll show you the rest of this bed in just a second. I want to show you the bed that's on the other side here. This one's the bed that's by the house. So, sorry if I jiggled you. I planted cucumbers all the way across here, and so when the trellis loops over, the cucumbers can climb from this side and the tomatoes can climb from this side, and they'll just kind of intermingle, but then I can walk underneath it and be able to pick my fruits or veggies. Over here I've planted some echinacea, what else did I plant over here? There's several things over here. I let the kids plant some sunflowers over here too, just for a little fun. And again, I have intermingled, and I will still intermingle more of the marigolds, because the marigolds, they do wonderfully well to keep the birds out of my beds. So back there on that trellis, there's a trellis there, just a little short one. I have 3 cucumbers and 3 sugar snap peas. And then here, let me see if I can zoom in a little. That is my large leaf sorrel, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those planted because I love sorrel. And then for my cucumbers, I have 2 different kinds of pickling cucumbers, and then a couple of types that are for salads. So, and then of course my little volunteer lettuce there. I'm just letting him grow. And then I have another one there and there. And I figure if they're fighting to grow that much, then I'm just going to let them grow. Okay, so in this bed, I'm going to zoom in a little. I wanted a lot of herbs and some flowers intermingled to bring in the pollinators. So here we have some sage, some nasturtium, some lemon balm. I'm not sure what that is. It was growing in a pot. It could be weeds. We'll see. But then right there at the end of that long stick is another lemon balm. There is some hyssop right here. And then over there, let me move my finger, is nasturtium. I'm just going to get in a little closer. And then I have some Swiss chard, and I just put them all there in that one spot for now until they start getting a little bigger, and then I'll separate them out. But there's some more chard there. And then here we have some blue Scotch kale. That one is dinosaur kale. And then I have 2 more plants back there of the blue Scotch kale. And then back there, all the way back, is some German chamomile. I have a few onions over there. I had a Brussels sprout there, but he didn't make it. And then right there is marjoram, and that is a volunteer cilantro, so I'm letting him grow. And then of course I have my little patch of lettuces here. So that is the bed beside the house, and I have actually packed in a lot of plants, foods, herbs, and flowers into this bed, and there will be more because I still have a patch open. So you can pack a lot into small spaces. Okay, next we're going to come over here. Excuse my messes. It's a work in progress. This, I think, is an African daisy. I'm going to let it grow a little more so I can make sure before I plant it in the bed. But in here, I have my parsleys. And parsley grows really, really slow, so I have to be patient with it. And then a volunteer lettuce. I did not plant that lettuce there. And then this was another volunteer lettuce that I pulled out of one of the beds and put it in this pot, and it's just doing so well. I mean, it's just beautiful. So we're going to start munching on that soon. Okay, so I told y'all in one of the last videos what I was going to do at the end of this bed, so I'm going to go around there and show you. Okay, so I told you I was going to put the cardboard just kind of as a weed barrier, and it's helping a lot. And I don't know if you can see the grass here, but when mom's lawn guy comes and cuts the grass and weed eats, he just throws grass everywhere. So it was a battle trying to fight, the grass that I didn't want growing here. So my lettuces are doing really well. My garlics are getting there. Mint, I think that's spearmint. More lettuces. One single little lettuce here. So I'll put something else in that pot with him. And then these are cilantro. and they're doing really well. And then here I have radishes, and I believe I put a cabbage in there just to see how it would do in a pot. So, and it looks like it's doing pretty good. Let's see. Whoops, I've stuck my finger over the yeah, it's doing pretty good. And as you can see, I've got some pretty good sized radishes growing up under there. And then here is mint. So I like the way this has turned out. It's a temporary solution, and I will eventually do something different with it, but this is going to work for me for now until I figure out what I want to do with it. I do want to eventually get the cinder blocks to put all the way around this bed so that I can plant marigolds and flowers and things around the whole border of the garden, but that might not happen this year. Okay, and so next we have this large bed, and y'all remember I told you I planted carrots in the end of this bed and it was not successful? Well, I've had a few pop up. So let me see. So I have one right there and a couple right there, a few right there. So they're just kind of scattered through here. And then I planted some onions in here, and I'm just kind of letting them grow at will. And then I have a whole border all the way around the edge of this bed. I have a border of onions. And then I started with my cabbages. So I put 3 in a row here, and I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can zoom in. Right there are some more cabbages, not cabbages, little carrots. Okay, so I have cabbages all throughout. So I put cabbages, and then in between the cabbages I have onions and some potatoes. And again, I don't know that you can see them, but I have the little onions that are growing all along the edge. And then on the back side of this bed, I have a trellis, and it's just temporary. I've got to do some work to it because it's kind of leaning out that way. So I got to let Sunshine come out here and help me with it when he gets time. But underneath the trellis, the reason there's a trellis there is because I have I'm trying to find my finger, a sugar baby watermelon, a cantaloupe, oh wait, there's 2 watermelons. There's the cantaloupe. And then I have 5 spaghetti squashes. And they're struggling a little, but I'm okay with that. They were struggling because they were in those cups for too long. So I'm hoping that I can give them a little fertilizer and they'll do okay. They'll kick back in. So we'll see. But then I started intermingling my marigolds in with the cabbages. And again, like I say, I don't know if you can see kind of where the ground's dug up, but that's where the potatoes are. And then again, with these, I did plant some dill. Let's see if I can zoom back out. I planted some dill. I just kind of scattered some dill seeds, and I'm hoping that they'll grow because those are good for pest control. Right here is a German chamomile. And then when the cabbage ends, then the broccoli starts, and the cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. And again, I have basils and sage, hyssop, marjoram, German chamomile scattered all throughout. And then this year, I'm taking a different approach with what we consider weeds, okay? These are alyssum. And a lot of people see those as weeds and they pull them. I believe they're alyssum. I gotta double check. That one right there might be, that one may be purple nettle. I'm not sure. I'll have to wait till they flower. But some of them are flowering white flowers, which are the alyssum seeds that I planted. And that just serves as a ground cover to prevent the bad weeds from taking over your garden beds. Now, this garden bed, when I created it in a Back to Eden style garden bed. And underneath here, it's cardboard. And then I added a very thick layer of these wood chips underneath. And then I added my soil on top, then some compost, and then some more wood chips on top. And those wood chips will decompose and compost down into good stuff for my plants. But as you can see all the marigolds intermingled in. You can see the broccolis and the cauliflowers. Now, it is the beginning of April, and they're not very big, so I don't know that they will produce before they bolt. But because I broke my tailbone and had a late start, it caused me to have a delay in getting them in the ground. And look, there's another volunteer lettuce. And I'm just going to let them grow. So I've decided that I'm going to let some of the weeds grow, or the alyssum, and some of the weeds in here are, I'm not sure if they're henbit or if they're Carolina geraniums. And so I'm doing some research on it to try and figure it out before I pull them, because they could be beneficial. Oh, there's another volunteer lettuce. But I'm excited. I'm really, really excited at how they're turning out. I'm going to go to the other side real quick. I just wanted to come to this side so I could show y'all. I have my squash and zucchini plants planted here, and they'll kind of come over this way. This, I'm not real sure what it is. It looks like that, so I'm going to do some research to find out what that is. But then there's this, which is what I think is the Carolina geraniums. So if you know what these are, put it in the comments below and help me figure out whether this is beneficial or whether I need to pull it, or if it would be a good ground cover. So I need to do some research. Oh, and I wanted to update y'all too on the sorrel. I think in one of the last videos I had said that I was going to research to see if it was a perennial, and it is a perennial, so that's a good thing. And then right here, I don't know if you can see that little pink flower. That was an annual flower that I bought last year and put in here. And he's fighting back this year, so I'm just going to let him grow right there. Even though he's right in the middle of my tomatoes, I'm fine with that. And I think, now I am packing this stuff in. I am somewhat trying to use the square foot gardening method in this, but it's just really going to be more of an intensive growing area, simply because I don't have very much space, and I have a lot of things that I want to grow, so I'm just packing things in here tightly. So I think behind the tomatoes, I think I may grow a row of peas and let them trellis up on the trellis too. I don't know. I'm going to do some research on it. I don't know if it'll be too much on the trellis, but we'll see. And then I think through here, I may do some potatoes and onions, maybe some beans down here on the end. And again, I will be scattering pretty flowers throughout to bring in the pollinators. And then the last thing I wanted to show y'all was in the front bed, so we'll head that way. Okay, so this is the front bed, and I've planted potatoes in here, but this is a big, huge area that has grown with what I think is that Carolina geraniums. But then if you notice, right in the middle there, the little purple flowers, that is henbit. So, not real sure. If y'all know, let me know. And then also, back here up against the wall, that looks like it could either be henbit or purple nettle. And then this little booger right here, I have no idea what he is, but I remember playing with these when I was a kid, playing in the yard. And I remember they have these little, let me see if I can get down here and show you. These little things that just kind of, they pop when you jiggle it. Let me zoom out a little. When you jiggle it, they kind of pop off. I hope you saw that. So I don't know what that is either, so I'm gonna have to check it out. Anyway, I will eventually weed all of this out or pull it all out so that my potatoes can grow, but I went ahead and just planted them in there in the midst of them. And then here on the edge, I have quite a few right here, all the way down through here, quite a few coneflowers that dropped their little seeds last year. So I'll be pulling those up and replanting them in a better spot. And then in the very back there, I've planted a few hollyhock roots. And then over here in this bed, I have planted a couple of hollyhocks. And again, I have some more of this, which that to me looks like the Carolina geranium. So again, gonna do some research and figure out what I need to do. And then there is a little lone coneflower, so I will pull him and replant him somewhere else. And then of course my oregano is doing really, really well. It's turned out beautiful, and I can't wait to see how big it gets. And then that nasty little booger right there, y'all, if you've ever dealt with monkey grass, okay, monkey grass is the bane of my existence. This whole bed was full of monkey grass before I started. And I started digging it up. I don't know if you can see, but some of it's under the azalea bush there, which the azalea bush is pitiful. I asked my husband to prune it in the winter, and he never got around to it, so it looks pitiful. But anyways, monkey grass, I absolutely hate it. I hired somebody to come. I didn't hire somebody. I put it on Facebook, free monkey grass, come dig it up. And I had a little landscaping company that came and dug it up. Okay, the last thing I'll show you is this bed over here, which is in quite disarray. But that's okay. I haven't got to this bed yet because we are going to go get another load of soil and we're going to build up this bed. But I did plant some hollyhocks back there. That is a hollyhock that I planted last year. Okay, now let me show y'all this. That is henbit. So there's a difference in the two. So I'm just going to have to do some playing around with it. But henbit is a very beneficial herb. So the reason I'm asking y'all to tell me is because I'm going to be pulling it and drying it and making teas. And then y'all remember that pitiful little chard, Swiss chard that I showed y'all? Well, look how beautiful he's grown. I'm just going to leave him. I'm going to let him go. And then over here is another oregano that I had planted last year. Because at that point in time, I didn't know how big oregano would get. So I got to weed all of this. That is a sorrel. Okay, that's a large leaf sorrel from the little ones that I showed you that are in the back. And I think he's going to seed. But I'm fine with that. I'm going to try and eat a little bit of these leaves just to see if they're too tough the second year to eat. because I've heard that in some zones they can kind of get a little woody and it makes them a little hard to eat. So I'll update y'all on that when I do it. And then my thyme, look how beautiful he's growing. Isn't he looking good? And then there's my rosemary, and my oregano is taking over the rosemary. My oregano is taking over everything back here, but I love it. So I will be cutting and drying a lot of oregano this year. And lastly, this is the little bed at the end of the sidewalk where I showed you the original hen bit, and it's already drying up. So I'm going to redo this bed right here and probably add some flowers. This is all daylilies, and oh my goodness, they're so thick. So I told my daughter she can come and get some, but I may put it on Facebook Marketplace to, that someone can have free daylilies if they want to come and thin these out for me, because it's a lot of work for me, and with my back injured right now, I really can't do all of that digging. So I'm going to see if somebody else wants them, because at the mailbox out there, I have a whole other bed that needs to be thinned out too. So, yep. So anyways, that is my little beginnings of a garden tour for y'all. Just giving you an update and letting you see where I've gotten to. And oh, I wanted to show you my spider eggs are still there, and sneaky little girl, I found 2 more that she hid a little better. So in this bush here, let me see if I can get you to it. Okay, so she hid one right there. And then she hid one on this side too. I'm trying to see if I can get the camera to see it, but it's right in here. So anyways, she was smart about it and hid some eggs, so just in case. So anyways, that's my little garden tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I am getting ready to start doing some cooking videos, so I'm a little excited about that. So y'all join me on this channel for that, and I will do a video too when I pull those sorrel leaves and cook those up. So those are some things to look forward to, and we'll just keep growing in the garden. So I'm going to leave you for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to see more videos and follow along on our journey. We are still looking for a property, and we've found a couple of things that we'd like to go look at, but we're not quite ready yet. So we're just taking our time and trying to be smart about it. So those are the things that are going on. So I guess I will just see you in the next video. Happy gardening. Big hugs.